This is interesting. Create your own metric field level customization reporting. You have special populations in your club of people that have different issues, diabetics. Okay, if I have diabetics or people who are cancer survivors or who take thyroid medication, I need to know who those people are, because I'm telling you right now, information is not only so readily available, but there are so many new studies that come out. And just as you think we know something. 5 years ago, like, oh, well, we really do understand, muscles and proteins and carbohydrates. More detailed, more specific study comes out. More interesting information is out even recently on cold processed proteins and how your pancreas is affected by it for diabetics. Okay. Point is always pieces of new information coming out there. And if you know who your members are, you take that information on that health history form that they have to fill out. And you use that information to inform your member. Because if I have people on thyroid medication and there's a new herbal supplement or something out there that we carry that will help them, I could target specific email them. Or if there's only 7 of them, what's better than an email? Phone call. Hey, this is Kyle over at the gym over here at ABC Fitness. I just want to let you know that I remember that when you signed up, you told me that you were on thyroid medication. I've always been a little bit concerned about that, and I knew you struggle with gaining weight and staying motivated. Well, I want to let you know that we had a new supplement here that we sell that does XYZ, and we got this cool study. Do you mind if I send you an email about that study? And if you want to come by, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Boom, member for life. You do something like that. Okay? Same thing with people who are cancer survivors. Okay, you got somebody who's a breast cancer survivor. Do you think they're going to appreciate it if you send them an email about some kind of 5K run or whatever, or the community that's getting informed in your club, or somebody that has any other arthritis in their knees? Hey, we got this new machine that we're thinking about getting here. I want to get your feedback on it. It's going to be really good because it works out and doesn't do heavy resistance on your knees, and I just want to let you know about it. And you don't have, when it comes down to special populations, you don't have so many of those people that you get overwhelmed with communications. Okay, like, oh my gosh, I've got to go contact 120 people. You got to be out here flipping mine. I'm just going to send an email. But when you realize that, hey, it's only represents about 2% of my membership base, that 30 minutes on the phone a day creates a member for life. Okay, hobbies and interest groups. That kind of overlaps a little bit there with the a 5K run that people may be doing for a particular cause. You could create a group around that, and that kind of goes back to creating a community in your facility. And you may want to inspire these hobbies and interest groups in your clubs, and then include them in your advertising, so that if you create a community advertising message to a specific demographic that you're going on, hey, we've got this awesome club, and come check out our whatever group. Okay, 7 new friends made at our walking club, or our climbing club, or our whatever, or you know what, and then what you may want to do too, what we would always do is I was big on the lead boxes and things. You know how you put a lead box and people register for a free week. I love those things. Everybody hates them. I'm one of the freaks that love them, because what I would do was, after I would get a bunch of lead boxes out there, I would send an ad out to the community thanking all the businesses that supported my business. I'd have 50 businesses out there have my lead box in there, and I would just write this really flowing piece about how it was really touched and the community pulled together and helped me in my business, and I'd list all the businesses and the names of the people that I met on the road, and say, you know what, I really appreciate it. I really feel part of the community. You guys really make me feel welcome. And then when I would go in there to check my lead boxes, I'd bring in the ad and I'd give it to the businesses. You could pull those groups together, and you could really leverage them, because I think that the part of the themes I've been pushing on here is not just a place to work out, but a community. And then you can more laser focus on aspects of that community, and the data will tell you where to go. Your data tells you who your members are, which ones are less likely to quit, which ones give you the most money, and then you focus your advertising on that demographic, and then you leverage that demographic into a buying pattern into the community by focusing on different types of groups that they could be a part of. And so your club becomes something different, something special, I think. Identify exercise likes, provide classes, target groups in your facility. Yeah, I think you guys probably do that now. Most people do. Identifying exercises that people like and provide those classes. And you could do that around that same community component now. I mean, Zumba's a huge thing now. Everybody likes Zumba. Even my training director likes Zumba. He's a total computer nerd, and he was telling me the other day about how much he likes Zumba, and he does it in his house. I didn't want to hear that, but he told me anyway. Situational awareness is your foundation to success. Really, we're kind of coming here to the end of the presentation, but knowing who your members are, catering to their needs, to their needs for relationship. You're going to be able to find out that you access other people's network through their relationships. And like I did when I went out knocking on doors, just introducing myself to people in the neighborhoods where our members were coming from. I'd make a friend with a guy who would refer his wife, and she'd bring in 3 friends. And then if I sat down and started looking where people came from, I was like, my gosh, I had 23 people that netted that one introduction that I made. Okay, you can access people's networks. Networking is where it's all at. People are checking their Facebook pages a lot more than they're checking your website. And so if you don't have a Facebook page now, as much as you may hate it, okay, it's an interesting way to communicate to your members. Little messages all day long. I like the little quick short messages. If I pick up the phone and leave somebody, I don't leave a long going on message. I'm about short emails. I'm about little messages. I'm a little bit saying your name and, oh, happy birthday, you know, and patting people on the back. I like those little short messages that are constant touch points, and then and catering to people's needs here. And you'll know who your members are, what classes that they want, what they need, and then making sure that you have the appropriate amount of staff for when people are there. Knowing how to identify the at-risk members, and actually that's the one line in the slide I probably would have changed. I think knowing how to identify your at-risk members before they become at-risk, and then doing something about it proactively. And I think that's what I talked a little bit about in the meeting about that company retention management. The first indicating factor is people's attendance patterns, but there are other things that can lead to that as well, as we've learned. What season of what season of their life they're in, and so, like I said, if they're younger, they're going to quit more readily. If they're older, they're less likely to quit. And then streamline your operating costs and streamline your ads. I just can't speak to that enough. The data that we've learned, the data we've seen, is a very targeted advertising in very specific geographic areas. If you have that capability. Again, if you're a city gym and people are coming from all over the city, harder for you to do. One of the things that people do is to help, and if you're in that position there, I must have a meeting. I have a position in that position there is know who people's employers are. We would go work out relationships with the employers and get them to supplement membership costs. You can work out relationships with Starbucks or different businesses around town to work out discounts at a particular location. And man, when somebody if you work out a discount with a hair salon, you go tell a guy you're going to save $3 on a haircut. Guys hate getting haircuts; they love saving $3 on them. Okay, and so you go tell a guy, look, hey man, go over there and you tell them that they're going to save $3. They show their membership card at the men's cuts over there, and then you go and you send a letter to that company thanking them. You maintain the relationship. You don't just work out the deal and forget about it because you want that guy talking about you all the time. When somebody comes in, oh, hey, you know, you didn't have to pay $15 for this haircut. If you'd have joined over at whatever, ABC Gym, you could have got $3 off. Really? Well, I am a member there. Sweet. Now they're talking about you. Because everybody who's coming to your gym, 80% of them are around that 2-mile radius. They're also using all the businesses within that 2-mile radius of your business. And there are so many co-marketing opportunities to work out a relationship with them so that they're supporting you guys too. And I can't emphasize that enough, that even though the data is out there, once you figure out who your community is, your demographic, creating those marketing advertisements speak to them, but then creating the relationships with the businesses that are around you are going to make a huge difference, because now people can leverage their current habits and their relationship with you to save money on the stuff that they're doing now, justify the cost of their membership, leverage their relationship with their employer, because you could approach your employer and say, I don't know if you knew this or not, but at an accounting firm, you guys have got 5 people that work out at our business right now and at our club right now. And we found that attendance stays up if the business will get involved. Would you guys help contribute to your members' dues? Okay? If they're going to pay for half their dues, or 70% of their dues, or in some cases 100% of their dues, you can even tell them, hey, I could provide you a report that will prove that they actually worked out X number of times a week. Why don't you do this to show that you're proactive, that you'll actually pay for a member's membership, or an employee's membership if they work out at least 10 times a month. Okay? And so there's a lot of ways that you can leverage that to minimize the cost of the member. So not only is it going to be community, but if you can get some of these costs of their membership and prove it to them that they're actually saving money in the businesses around you and get an employer to pay for it, well, then you don't have to worry about anybody ever quitting. So it's not costing them any money.